I'm very curious about the lab. So you have the floor. So let me tell you the format of how we do this. So it's a stocks to watch episode. So you state the stock you're watching, why you're watching it, what do you expect to be the main drivers for movement, right? That's it. So you don't need to justify it any other way. Just what you're watching and why. Okay. So over to you.
I love that. Well, that's how we approach it when our analysts pitch a stock to us. So that's exactly, in my opinion, the way it should be done. Right? You have a thesis, and then you justify that thesis, and then we poke holes in the thesis. So in my case with L.A.R.N, I think everybody knows that we have L.A.R.N in our portfolio, and that we have been long on L.A.R.N. When you obviously look at it, it's down. It's down about 50% since I first bought L.A.R.N. I dollar cost average, so that I don't mind. For me, the biggest thing I look at is I don't think of L.A.R.N as an advertising agency or marketing agency. I think most people focus on that. But I've known Kimala since 2001. So when I know management, I understand where they come from. I know our background is in the film industry, right? Trained under, I believe it's Hype Williams, these kinds of guys. They have 5 films that they intend to produce. They've already done 2. The first one premiered here in June, right here in South Florida, the South Florida Black Film Festival. This is called Love Offside. And they know in talks with a few different distributors. They have another film that they've finished and is in post-production now. And this is supposed to be a Christmas film that's coming out. And then they have 3 more they need to make next year. I understand owning IP, intellectual property. In my MBA, I was taught that there are 3 kinds of businesses that they can invest in. The first business is a business that does perishable goods. So you're going to grow the mangoes, try and sell the mangoes. If you don't sell them, it's spoiled, you lose all the money. Second kind of business is a business that does durable goods. So you're going to design something, put in a t-shirt, try and sell the t-shirt. Can't sell it for $30, you mark it down to $25, $20. Eventually you get to the $8 you need to just break even. You can put that money back into another business. So I was told perishable goods are not the ones you should get into. And that includes airline seats. So when the plane takes off, you can't sell that airline seat again. On hotel rooms, when the night passes, I can't sell that hotel room again. So those are perishable. You want durable goods. But the best kind of business to invest in is a business that does intellectual property, IP. We in the Caribbean don't seem to think about the value of IP. Here in the United States, we have hedge funds buying up masters in terms of records. They're buying up people's albums. They own films. They have catalogs because it's the life of the creator plus 75 years. I like the idea of owning a company like L.A.R.N, especially it's cheap. We're building original content that's going to be going out to Netflix, Amazon, Apple, all these streaming services, and it can earn money in perpetuity. So it's like a dividend that we're going to be getting. You do it once, and then you can have that content make money for the next 75 years at minimum. And that's how we look at L.A.R.N. And I know we can open additional doors for L.A.R.N because of our relationship. So that's what I really love about L.A.R.N from a content standpoint.
Okay. So I never looked at it that way. I'll give you that, David. I didn't know the scopes. I heard about the movies. What I never heard was the scope of the movies. So if it is that you're saying they'll have the opportunity to get, royalties, income in perpetuity, that is certainly compelling.
Yeah.
What is the? I know we can't know what the ceiling is there. I usually try not to get into the numbers or the weeds of it, but.
What, the ceiling of the stock price you were going to say? The ceiling of what?
No, meaning in terms of, so let's say if this potential is there, what it may add in terms of like top line growth. So revenues are X, this opportunity will maybe double,
I don't even make sense to look at it. When you look at a film like Paranormal Activity that has a budget of less than 40,000 US and then goes on to make $100 million US, it don't make sense. Blair Witch Project, right? It doesn't make sense to think about what's the actual potential top line for creating a film.
Especially since it's such a long lifespan, I guess.
Yeah, man. You spend $500,000 US to do. When we signed our film deal, right? We signed a deal to do 5. We did a production deal, so production, development, distribution deal. It was going to be $500,000 US to produce the first horror movie, and then they were going to have it sold, and we'd generate $1 million in the sale of it, and then we earn residuals after that. So typically you're doubling your budget, right? It's even different nowadays. That's quite different. So yeah, I don't think there's a ceiling. It literally could 10x the company. Just one of the films could 10x the business, and you wouldn't even think about the other stuff that they do. It would become a film company that's generating original IP, shot in the Caribbean, blended with, right? They use an American soap opera star, a Black American, produce these films with them. So somebody already in the Hollywood system and scaling. I sat down and met with Ted Sarandos. I met with Ted Sarandos, the co-CEO of Netflix, to understand how this works. He and I met in Miami last year. And he said that you don't bring one project to them. What you need to do is bring a catalog of projects. L.A.R.N has set out to create a catalog of projects. Why wouldn't they go to Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and more to go and get it done? And can I make a phone call and help, right? Because any company I invested in, I intend to help. I'm not just there sitting on my hands. Right? We are invested because we can leverage our network to help them.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. So I'll in based on what you just said, I'll certainly keep. I'll keep one eye.
Yeah, man. Keep one eye out. Keep one eye out on L.A.R.N.
So I do see that it's up at the point that we're talking. It's up 38% quarter to date, which is interesting. So clearly there's some anticipation for something, and I see Ryan saying L.A.R.N will be making an announcement soon on the deal that they have chosen to accept for the distribution and love offside. All right, cool. So we'll see how that goes. So awesome. Okay, cool. So thank you for that, David. Next one up is L.E.A.R.N, right? Not many people know about L.E.A.R.N.
Nope.
So give us a take on it first. Let me share my screen. I mean, I'm still I'm not sold on L.A.R.N, guys. I know the price has gone up in the last couple of days. David is sold. David said he's actually dollar cost averaging because they bought at a higher price. So we've seen some movement here, L.A.R.N, over the last couple of days. So at the start of October, it was $1. So year to date, it started the year at 140. And I saw it was kind of on its way down throughout the year. For the last couple of days, it's been up pretty much about 38%. That's what we see here quarter to date. So 38% growth. My personal response to companies like this, I think everybody knows my philosophy here. I don't buy stocks when they're moving. So I personally don't. I need a sustained reason to buy a company. Now, this is not speaking to the future of the lab. Again, I haven't looked at them in a while. But certainly the way that David described the opportunity is certainly interesting. I'll look at the numbers, see what the numbers say, listen out for the announcements. Because to me, there's always another opportunity. So if the company is going to grow sustainably, I don't need to have FOMO and thinking that I'll miss something. If it's a good enough opportunity, I'll be able to catch it later on. Same reason for so even I think of NVIDIA. I bought NVIDIA after the split in the US, and I'm up almost I think 60-70%. So I'm never maybe the best way to look at it, but I'm not an early adopter to companies. I'll say it that way, because in tech they can say you're an early adopter, you're the first to buy the tech, and that's not me. I want to see something that's proven sustainable, then I'll make a strategic entry. So for me with L.A.R.N, I'd love to see. Let me just look at the most recent numbers here. But let me know for the 100+ persons here, do you have L.A.R.N in your portfolio? Is L.A.R.N on your radar? Let me see. So so Patricia, who's asking from Instagram, will this L.A.R.N be posted? Just go to our YouTube channel now, it's there. We stream on Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. The video always stays up afterwards. So if you missed David's segment, which was a lot, be sure to just watch until the end, and you can go ahead and watch the replay there. So L.A.R.N.'s third quarter came out a month ago. So certainly the numbers aren't moving the stock is not moving based on these numbers. These numbers came out over 2 weeks ago. So there must be some other driver of the stock. I see Ryan saying there's something that's going to be announced soon. I don't know. So we'll see what that comes to be. Let me look at so the initial numbers here. Let me see this. I won't spend much time here, but let me just see here. So revenue for the 9 months this year is actually down 25 million, so down 3% from last year. Gross profit is down 2.6%. Net profit is down 50%. So again, the price is moving not based on the most recent performance, of course, because the numbers are down. Now, of course, how investing works, fundamentals serve as a part of the picture, right? So stocks don't only move based on performance. If there's an opportunity or some key driver that can also send momentum to the stock. So of course, Ryan, share that link to the article, please, somebody, and I'll check that out. So that's what we're seeing in terms of the performance for the company. All right, so let me see if I can find that Observer article. All right, so I'm certain that this is not it. L.E.A.R.N. So find that lab for me. Find that article for me, Ryan, and I'll check it out. All right. So let's see if we can see the reason in a few days why we're seeing this movement here. I mean, so let's see. So we'll look back at our next stocks to watch. Take what David has said. See how the price would have performed. To that point, and see if we can put the pieces together, right?